NBC5 responds tonight. More than 100 grieving families now claim they were defrauded by a Chicago headstone company. This summer, Gast Monuments announced it was closing after 144 years in business.
Now NBC5's responds PJ Randhawa has uncovered an explosive lawsuit filed by members of the Gast family, plus new lawsuits filed by customers.
Gast Monuments proudly advertised it was a family business for 6 generations. But according to a lawsuit filed by the uncles of the current president of the company, the 6th generation is where things went wrong. They accused the company's president and her family of stealing assets to pay for their lavish lifestyle. When Bart Grzalski passed away during the height of the pandemic lockdown, he died alone.
Oh, that was the sad part about it.
His brother Phil says it was important Bart wasn't forgotten. So after his burial in St. Boniface Cemetery, Phil immediately ordered a grave marker from Katie Gast, president of Gast Monuments.
I think we just chose them because we knew they were around for a long time, and they were close, just a few blocks away on Peterson.
But for the next 2 years, Bart's grave was bare. Phil says no grave marker ever came, just excuse after excuse from Gast.
She said, she's very sorry about this, and that she'll make sure. She says, as a matter of fact, the monument's on the truck.
Phil is one of half a dozen Gast customers in Lake and Cook County who have filed suit against the company since last year. Among the latest, this lawsuit filed by 3 siblings who ordered a $300,000 mausoleum from the company in 2019. 5 years later, they say the project was never even started. That lawsuit claims Gast engaged in a pattern of taking money from grieving families while spending thousands of dollars traveling the world and bragging about it on social media in posts like this one. Similar accusations are spelled out in a lawsuit filed by Katie Gast's uncles. That lawsuit accuses Katie, her brother, and her father of draining company assets to fund personal expenses like Katie's wedding, homes for both siblings, travel expenses, and funding for IFC Fitness in Palatine, a business owned by Katie and her then-husband. The lawsuit claims the trio took out more than $1 million in loans against the business, including a mortgage on their Peterson Avenue location in 2022. Yet another lawsuit accuses Gast of defaulting on that mortgage after just 5 months. And just like we've heard for the last year and a half, the uncle's lawsuit alleges in the midst of the loans and defaults, the company continued taking customer deposits while failing to fulfill customer orders and failing to pay vendors.
There was no marker there, which is just, sad.
Phil eventually cut his losses and ordered a grave marker from another company. A few weeks ago, he won his court case against Gast, but he isn't optimistic he'll get his money back.
This is like a disaster, that there's so many people affected, so many people that really got robbed.
Neither Gast's attorneys nor her uncle's attorneys responded to our request for comment. The Illinois Attorney General's office has now received 126 complaints about the company. However, it will still not comment on whether it will take legal action. But an investigation into the company by the Cook County State's Attorney's Office is still active and ongoing. Meantime, according to her LinkedIn profile, Gast is now living in Texas and working for a disaster recovery company. PJ Randhawa, NBC5 responds.
Thanks to